Today on Public Eye News, Michigan reaches a milestone of vaccinating nearly 1 million residents, and China sees its worst sandstorm in a decade. Later in the show, Megan Tarcia will have your weather, and I will be back with your sports update. Hi, I'm Joseph Sigourney, and this is Public Eye News. The Michigan State Housing Development Authority unveiled a new $282 million rental assistance program to help tenants facing pandemic-related hardships avoid eviction while also ensuring landlords can recoup owned rent. Another $340 million is available to be appropriated by the state legislature, bringing the program to $622 million. The COVID emergency rental assistance launched in July 2020 and helped about 16,000 households across the state to avoid eviction and get current on rent. WLUC-TV reports MSHDA will anticipate being able to assist between 50,000 and 55,000 families or 140 individuals this year. The body of an Illinois hunter who was reported missing in November 2020 was found Saturday afternoon in Menominee County. According to WLUC-TV, the Menominee County Sheriff's Office says its deputies were called to the Cedar River, about a mile north of Cedar River Campground, for a report of a floating body in the river around 3:45 p.m. Saturday. Deputies confirmed there was a body stuck in the river of ice shoves in the river. The body was retrieved from the river by rescue personnel from Mellon and Cedarville Township fire departments. Investigation shows no signs of foul play, and the assistant medical examiner has ruled the death a cold water drowning. Approximately 800,000 Michigan children whose access to school meals have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic have begun to receive food assistance benefits. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is issuing an additional benefits now through the end of March. Students in grades pre-kindergarten through 12th grade are eligible if they qualify or receive free or reduced lunch prices in school in-person learning when in-person learning is not available at their school or is not available on a full-time basis. Families will receive an estimated $127 monthly for each eligible child who has no in-person classes and attends a school fully virtual, and about $77 for each eligible child who attends a school with a hybrid schedule of in-person and remote learning. In about 3 months, Michigan health leaders have been able to fully vaccinate about 1 million people. But to reach the herd immunity, health officials say the state needs to vaccinate a total of at least 5.5 million people. WWMT's News Channel 3, Tricia McCauley, is in Kalamazoo.
Department, more than 1 million Michiganders are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That's 12.5% of the state's population of those 16 and older. Health leaders say the state needs at least 70% to reach herd immunity.
I'm hoping that the public really realizes now the value of having that protection and the fact that you can protect your loved ones.
In Kalamazoo County, 31,600 people are fully vaccinated against the virus, 14% of the population. In Calhoun County, 13,500 people got all their shots, almost 13%.
We're making good progress on our early goals, but we still have the ultimate goal of making the virus go away, and that's going to take a while.
Bronson Hospital Director of Infectious Prevention, Dr. Richard Van Ink, says it's important for everyone that can get the COVID-19 vaccine to do so as soon as it becomes available. Even if you've already had COVID-19, he says you should get the shot to help completely get rid of the virus.
The vaccine eliminates that individual variability and gives everyone optimal protection versus having the infection, which you may or may not be protected.
And stay tuned, because after this break, we'll be back with your international and national news.
You're all very welcome to this evening's very special celebration of Ireland's road to freedom, as told through the songs of her people. By the rising of the moon, with your flags upon your shoulder, by the rising of the moon, God grant you glory, brave Father Murphy, and nation home.
Wednesday afternoon at 3.
Welcome back. As millions continue to wait for their turn for the COVID-19 vaccine, small but steady amounts of the precious doses have gone to waste across the country. Thousands of shots have been wasted in Tennessee, Florida, Ohio, and many other states. The reasons vary from faulty record keeping to accidentally trashing hundreds of shots. By comparison, waste of the COVID-19 vaccine appears to be quite small, though the U.S. government has yet to release numbers shedding insight on its extent. Officials have promised that may change soon as more data is collected from the states. On Friday, the Biden administration offered temporary legal residency to people from Myanmar, where military leaders have overthrown the country's elected government and are using deadly force against protesters. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said the temporary protected status would last for 18 months. The designation applies to people from that country already living in the United States. In recent days, countries including Denmark, Ireland, and Thailand have temporarily suspended their use of the AstraZeneca's coronavirus vaccine after reports that some people who got a dose developed blood clots. However, the European Medicines Agency says there's no indication that the vaccination has caused these conditions. In Britain, where 11 million doses of the vaccine have been administered, more than any other country, there have been reports of about 11 people who have developed blood clots after getting a shot. None were proven to be caused by the vaccine. And China's capital and a wide portion of the country north were enveloped today in the worst sandstorm in a decade, forcing the cancellation of hundreds of flights amid high winds and low visibility. The National Meteorological Center said today's storm had developed in the Gobi Desert in the Inner Mongolia region. The expansion of cities, industries, along with strip mining and overgrazing has put constant pressure on the environment throughout China and is to blame for the sandstorm. President Biden took steps over the weekend to help border officials process the wave of unaccompanied minors showing up at the southern border. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are playing the blame game.
The Biden administration has ordered FEMA to help address the surge of unaccompanied children at the border. Former FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate helped manage a similar situation in 2014.
This is a humanitarian mission. I don't give a rat's about immigration policy, what's caused this, why it happened. They're here, they're kids. We're going to treat them that way.
CBS News has learned Border Patrol has 4,200 unaccompanied minors in short-term holding facilities. The law requires them to be transferred to more appropriate facilities within 72 hours, but many children have been there far longer.
None of these Border Patrol facilities are made for children, and we want to move them as quickly as possible into shelters and then into homes.
A lawyer representing some of the children told CBS News the conditions were so overcrowded that the kids had to take turns sleeping on the floor.
What we're seeing today is an enormous challenge, and it's unacceptable.
A group of Republican lawmakers led by House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy is visiting the border today. Republicans blame the new administration for the surge at the border.
The actions taken by President Biden of why people think they could come here and break the law.
What the administration has inherited is a broken system at the border, and they are working to correct that.
The House is expected to debate two immigration bills this week. One would protect dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and the other would provide legal status for farm workers. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Biden addressed the growing scandal around New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Many Democrats are urging him to resign following multiple allegations of sexual harassment. CBS's Jerica Duncan reports.
Stepping off Marine One, the president said that Democrats should wait and see.
Do you think Governor Andrew Cuomo should resign? I think the investigation is underway and we should see what it brings us.
And some lawmakers want action now. So far, 18 New York congressional Democrats have called for Cuomo to resign, including New York Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand.
It's clear that Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of his governing partners, as well as the people of New York.
On Friday, a seventh woman accused the governor of sexual harassment. In a personal essay, Jessica Bakeman writes that she didn't think the governor wanted to have sex with her, but that he wanted her to know she was powerless. The former Albany reporter says there were multiple occasions where Governor Cuomo put his hands on her arms, shoulders, the small of her back, and her waist in view of colleagues. On Friday, the governor again denied the claims that he inappropriately touched anyone.
I never harassed anyone. I never abused anyone. I never assaulted anyone. Now, and I never would, right?
And he's adamant that it is not affecting his ability to govern at a critical time for the state. But according to the Washington Post, New York's vaccine czar, Larry Schwartz, has been phoning local officials in order to gauge their loyalty to the governor. According to the report, one official believed getting vaccines to his area could suffer if Schwartz was not pleased with his response. The governor and Schwartz deny the governor did anything wrong. Schwartz told the Washington Post that when he made those calls, it was not in his role as the vaccine czar, but only as Cuomo's friend. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
And stay tuned, because after this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
The forest has always been a staple of the Michigan economy, but things have been changing.
We have seen the Upper Peninsula lose some of its workforce.
It's kind of a scary time, but it's also a time for opportunity.
We think that Michigan has a real opportunity to move to higher value wood products.
The raw materials are here. It's a sustainable industry.
There's really big changes in the works, a real transformation of our relationship to the forest and wood products.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Megan Tarcia here with your weather. Behind me is a very gloomy NMU campus. As we look into today's conditions, they say otherwise. It is sunny with a temperature of 37 degrees. Our winds are southeast at 11 miles per hour, and our barometric pressure is 30.35 inches and falling. Tonight's conditions will be cloudy with a low of 25 degrees, and our winds will be southeast at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow's conditions will be sunny with a high of 36 degrees, and our winds will be east at 10 miles per hour. Looking across the UP, starting over in Sault Ste. Marie, it is 31 degrees. Manistee at 34, Escanaba at 35, down in Menominee at 35, Iron Mountain at 37, Ironwood at 41, up in Houghton it is 39, and here in beautiful Marquette it is 40 degrees. Looking ahead at our weekly conditions, Wednesday will be a high of 41 and a low of 29, mostly cloudy skies. Thursday will be a high of 35 and a low of 23, cloudy skies earlier on. And Friday will be a high of 43 and a low of 27 degrees, sunny skies. Going back to Joe with our sports.
Thank you, Megan. The Northern Michigan University hockey program advanced to the Western Collegiate Hockey Association semifinals with a dominating 5-1 victory over Bowling Green State University Sunday evening in a winner-go-home matchup. The Wildcats opened with the scoring with a rebound off front as Vincent DeMay gave NMU the 1-0 lead in the first period. The Wildcats scored again in the first when Mikey Coella lifted the puck top shelf, making it 2-0. After a period of play, goaltender Rico De Mato boasted 18 saves to keep his Wildcats up 2-0 heading into the second. 2 more goals from NMU and 1 from Bowling Green left us in the third period. The game concluded with an empty net goal from Ben Newhouse. The Wildcats advanced to the WCHA semifinals following the 5-1 victory. The Wildcats of Northern Michigan University Volleyball earned their second consecutive 3-0 win over Northwood in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Conference play Saturday afternoon. Back-to-back kills from Jacqueline Smith got NMU off to a strong start in the opening set. The Wildcats took set 1 25-18 with a Smith kill and an Ali Yako service ace coming as the final 2 points. Set 2 started out well for NMU as they went up 3-0 to begin play. Northwood was able to mount a comeback and tie the game 13-13. In the end, the set closed in favor of the home team, and the set ended 25-18. The third set proved to be a nail-biter. With a score of 22-22, both teams continued to exchange points. Neither team was able to make a upper hand until NMU closed out the game 30-28. The NMU volleyball team begins a 5-match road trip next weekend. Lake Superior State will host the Wildcats in a 2-match series beginning Friday, March 19th. First serve of one set is set for 3 p.m. And that is all the time we have for today. I'm Joe Sigourney, and thank you for tuning in to Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.